What's happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the Wisdom Academy postseason press conference. I have quite a few of the team, and there might be a few more trickling in later on, but this appears to be quite a lot already. So, going from top to bottom for introductions, we have a former support player, Ian Kenny. We have the main support player, Alex. The sub main tank, Red Knight. Ryguy, the primary main tank, Jelly Boy. A coach, Navino, the manager. Pineapple, the full flex. I saw you play everything over the course of the season. Sui and Titanic, the starting DPS duo. So we got all those guys for you today, and plus possibly some more if they decide to show up later on. So, Go ahead.
I will also note I was the director of mental health coaching during
Shut
the playoffs.
That is very true.
This man, like, literally on the day of play, was like, so can I be director of mental health coaches? And I was like, what does that even mean?
Mental health coach wasn't good
No, I'm
enough.
not director of mental health coaching.
Director.
I'm director of mental health coaching. It's a
Okay.
huge difference.
So getting into the questions, we have a few wisdom-specific questions submitted by people who did actually not submit them anonymously, and then a few more general
Ryguy
questions.
is such a little shit.
What do you mean? so yeah,
There's
let's
a pretty good question in there.
let's start with that question. Might as well. So Ryguy wants to know, who's the most important player on Wisdom?
So first, hold on. So first,
Boy,
I think
obviously,
Jelly and I should answer it from like a coaching / management perspective, and then obviously I kind of want to hear like who you guys thought it was. But at least for me, the most important, frankly, was Dewey. Honestly, was Dewey to me, and not because like the position he played, because hitscan DPS is rather meh. It's just like whenever he played, we 100% were in a better mental state than when he didn't. Like, yes, he's very, like, Zooey's a very mechanically gifted player. Sometimes he does Pepega flanks, but no. But,
Dude,
like,
that's art. That's the art for it.
the art Zooey, alright. Or the art of feeding. But,
I know. It's making
That's my
space.
book, don't
It's
talk
not
shit.
feeding.
Just make space on DPS, you know.
making
Exactly.
But, on real note, like, he just always brought the mood up. Like the reason we were able to swap out Rye and Red pretty interchangeably at times. The reason we were able to make subs in every position is because as long as Zooey was in, we had like more of a better energy. If that makes sense. Like he was just like to me like the moral lifter and the glue that held each lineup together. Jelly, if you want to talk about
Yeah.
who you think.
So I think Zooey was extremely important to our run, and he was this hidden gem, right? Like he didn't show up to many pugs, but I think also very important was Ryguy, and Ryguy for the most part was able to keep everybody up, and he'd try to alleviate the moods whenever we were down by making jokes and such. And he tried to never let himself get down. And his play also was just fantastic. And I think he was just a solid rock everybody could depend on. And even when he wasn't, Red Knight was able to come in and help take over as well. And they were very different, especially main tank wise, but and comms wise. But like, depending on the situation, we were able to put whoever was needed in, and it worked out extremely well, as you can see throughout our entire season. So,
And you really see that illustrated, like I think in the OTW match where Red led a reverse sweep of OTW and had like that top rope shatter on Oasis in map 5. I also want to say this because I think a lot of people like have given him and Florida a lot of shit for like how they played on Kings Row. Kings Row was a litany of issues that just that doesn't even begin to encompass just Red and Florida, right? And like he played really well throughout the season, and I think like trying to minimize that by saying like, oh, he got rolled in the finals on Kings Row, like shit, like we've all been rolled at one point or another, and like it's a GG go next, you know. This group's still together, it's still playing, but also it's so shocking that our two most important players, we said, are the two of the people that were nominated for MVP. Shocking, I know.
MVP and runner-up.
That was my point. That's literally my point.
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
The most important for me, in my opinion, was probably Nyx. He was like,
I mean, like, okay, in a similar vein, y'all are all sleeping on Snevs, okay? Y'all
Dude,
sleeping
Nyx
on
and Snevs was the glue that held this team together.
The
Especially
dumb
when
were
all
they're
pretty important.
You know, kind of hard to carry every game.
I hate you guys. Okay.
The thing is,
Alright.
Shadow Void is actually here at the end of the season, so
Oh, Void. Actually, no. Shout out to Void, my boy. Like, this man, like, he always had the best attitude in every scrim. He didn't really play a lot for us. And even at the end, he was like, "You look, guys, I know I'm not the best DPS player, but if you don't need me to play, you just want me to, like, kind of give my opinion on stuff, and you just want me to be there to be, like, the mood lifter, like the cheerleader, I will do it." And huge shout out to him for being just, like, a real homie, to be honest. Like,
Shadow is one of the unsung heroes of Wisdom Academy.
100%.
That man just
I
brought
agree.
a smile to everybody's face, dude.
At all
And
times.
he was not upset that he wasn't getting playtime or like at any point, and like he just had the best attitude for the whole team, man.
also, it's so funny because, like, when he calms as May, it's like
It's
freezing
really-
something.
His DPS is
Freezing.
also like really good. It's just that we were stacked on DPS from the get-go.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, you say from the get-go.
All right. So this question is anonymous, but I have an idea of who might have asked it. So why did Sui never play tank?
We had 15 tanks.
I'm pretty sure that Zooey has 3K on tank.
He did. Now he's
Diamond
Diamond Lord.
He
Diamond
did
Warlord.
before Rai,
he hit
before Rai
Diamond
ever-
on tank before Ryga.
Yeah.
Just
I
because
know.
he
I mean, I was
with a bunch
banned.
of Diamond players and won half of them. That's it. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. His Reinhardt's not bad though. So.
I just played a ranked game with him. I don't know how
It's not great.
I wasn't trying. Come on.
But it's not bad. But yeah,
Alright. Anything else anyone want to add?
I mean, Zooey doesn't play tank because she's washed. That's the answer.
Nah, he'd just be
Obviously.
too good for novice.
He's just a McCree Tracer 2 trick at this point. We all know it. Like,
On a real note,
Gotta
at one
watch
point the
Widowmaker.
roster did have like 5 tanks. I want to point that out.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, there is the real problem. We had a gajillion tanks.
Oh
We
wait, I
did.
forgot, dude. Our most important player was Splash.
Actually, speaking
yeah.
of that, we can move over to
technically,
the.
actually, because Nyx, you know,
Hold
got,
on, let
got your off
Atkins,
tank.
guys. Let
So
Atkins.
we do that is actually a good transition to the next question. This one's coming from Corbs. He said, "What happened when you figured out about time/splash? That whole situation."
So, actually, like, Shun said it really in your staff press conference, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
but like, what from your perspective was happening?
I
Oh,
think
I
he
mean-
should said it like in the first week or something. I was like, shit, why
Oh,
is
you-
that weird?
yeah, I did. So, like, from my perspective, it was like, you all know that you've all seen the screenshot of Wisdom has Smurfs Crab Rave that I did an announcement because, like, I
Funny
thought
as
we didn't.
hell.
Dude, it's. I mean, I found it funny, even though, like, it was fucking Corbs, who I despise with all my being.
And it was just
Posting. Yeah,
That's
I mean, like,
toxic.
no, Corbs is a little shit. He knows.
Facts, hard facts.
But
no, I thought so.
Quab is gonna be here in a minute, and I told him to
I'll
join
drag
Lobby
him in.
1A. Yeah. His name will be Asga. But like, I remember Tyranitar DMing me being like, "Yo, do you really think you don't have Smurfs in do you think you really don't have Smurfs in Wisdom?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I've heard some rumors, but no one's ever given me proof." And I said to Tyranitar, I was like, "Yo, if you got proof, like 100%, give it to me." He's like, "Do you have a recording of a scrim bot with Splash Talk?" And I was like, "Sure, let me find it." And I found one, like, from our very first scrim with, like, against Hyperflex, I think. And Splash was playing DPS that scrim because at the beginning I didn't know where to put him because he signed him as a main support, and then, like, when we got Alex, we decided just Alex was a better option, and then with Florida out, we didn't really have another off-tank option because Nyx was a Sigma 1 trick.
Still is.
Still is. And that's what led to the whole thing. And then when Shun DM'd me and showed me the clip from last season's press conferences of time talking, like, I even said, "Well, shit, that's him." Yeah, I was like, ban him. Like, I don't really care.
Where
Like,
do you go next? Like,
yeah. I will say though, from a perspective of like the aftermath, right? One thing I really noticed, like, and I more so noticed this in the finals, because so a lot of people have asked me if I think we would have gone undefeated without Splash, because now this whole asterisk next to our regular season. And the way I see it is this: I don't think we would have gone undefeated, because for example, I think we would have lost that Plat Chat game where we had Florida in the first 2 maps instead of Splash, because Splash had internet issues, where we went down 2-0 and then we put in Splash for the reverse sweep. I think we would have lost that one. But I do think we'd probably go at worst 7-3. And here's why. A lot of teams in Novice had an issue of playing fast. And no one really figured that out the entire season. And the reason we were so dominant at times is because Splash really forced our tempo really high up. And I never realized that until we didn't have Splash forcing the tempo. Like, I think a very iconic quote from Splash is, fuck these bitches, just hold the W key. Versus, like because as a higher ranked player, he knows that you just sometimes have to go, And he really did up our tempo. And Rye already has a pretty decently fast tempo, right? Even though it's not as fast as I want it to be at times. Okay. But in general. And he really brought that up. But I think from how we played versus Hyperflex in the semis can still show you that we can be a very dominant team even without Splash. The reason we lost the Geo, in my opinion, is because they figured out their tempo. Silent Sword played at a whole new speed that series. The entire team just instead of questioning it, because the biggest problem with teams is they'll question the tempo the main tank's going at, especially when they think it's too fast, quote unquote. They didn't question it. They just followed Silent Sword to the gates of hell, honestly. And they were the only team that played faster than us, and thus that allowed them to beat us. And the reason we were able to beat them on Volskaya, like we did, is because we took back control of the tempo. Because I think Volskaya was probably our best map, hands down. So that's what happened to me. And Jelly, if you want that.
So I think Splash. So there was one time during scrims, it was about week 7 or 8, where we were down both Rye and Red Knight, and so
my God, the scrims.
on a map, I said, okay, Splash, you're on ball main tank, and Florida, you're on Diva, and I watched this man's ball, and I saw it was 3K level, so I went and told Nev, and I think this is why he was very willing to look into Splash as well, because I hadn't had doubts of him. His Diva was it was fine, but it wasn't anything spectacular that would warrant looking into. But once I saw his ball, I brought up the concerns. He said he had come from console, so I just assumed that because console and PC, the only difference is the way you aim and move. I assumed that the knowledge of movement for ball wouldn't be that different, and that he came from main tank on console at a master's level or something. But I was naive to assume that. But I think the bigger issue with losing Splash was the buildup of synergy between main tank and off tank was lost right for playoffs. And I think we did a good job integrating Pineapple in. I just don't think it was enough time as opposed to other teams that had 5, if not the whole season, 5 weeks, if not the whole season, to build up synergies. And it caused, I think it caused big issues with our tempo as well, as Neb was saying, where Splash was able to make bigger calls and force us to go in whenever we needed to. And I think if he hadn't have been there, I definitely would have coached it more into the other players' heads. But since Splash was there, I didn't think it was an issue, right? So I think that was one of our big downfalls for the finals. And then along with that, I think Geo just worked their tailbone off for the last week to face us, and they played like they deserved it. They played really well. I don't think we played poorly. I just think that they played at like 120% of their game, where we gave 95% of ours.
Yeah.
So
They finished maps that we should have won. Like
Yeah.
Dorado, we C9.
Yeah.
And like Ilios like unwell. Like frankly, it felt like we just forgot everything we talked about before Ilios. And you could tell at that point that, especially like I think the breaking point for the team was Dorado, because that just mentally boomed us. I think. If there's any of you guys want to add anything?
The time thing was mostly frustrating because, there was multiple times I think a few of us had suspected stuff and, like, there's just no evidence, and, he reassured us that things were chill, and, I just don't want people's perception of Wisdom Academy to be that we thought or knew or even had an idea until, like, everyone else found out, And that, I think, was, like, super frustrating because the insinuation from certain individuals who I will not name is that obviously we must have known and that we were taking advantage of it, and I found that really frustrating. But
I'm gonna say right now, I don't think his Devo was even the best in novice.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
no, I agree with that. I just am saying it
I
needs
think
to be
his
said that way.
Anti's was way better.
I think his knowledge was just better than everybody's, which may have gave us an edge in some maps, but I don't think it was the reason that we won most of the games that we, like most, if not all, of the games that we did. I just don't think that.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, moving away from that question, here's probably the last tough question for you to answer. This one's coming from Zach T from Plat Chat. Do you see your perfect regular season as a success or a failure since you lost the grand finals?
100% a success.
Oh yeah.
Like we went 11-1. Like yes, like Gio ended up winning it all, but like these players worked hard, and at the end of the day, each and every one of them is better than they were when me and Jelly started coaching them. Like I would not have kept this team going in the GGNA with Jelly and with with the other roster, like if I thought they were uncoachable, if I thought they were shit. Like this season was a success, and it didn't end the way we wanted it to. I'm very happy with the results for my first time in the league and a lot of these guys' first time in the league. Jelly, if you want to say something, I know you.
Yeah, so playoffs are all about the underdogs, right? Like there's nobody. Ours is a special case because nobody liked Geo, but most of the time nobody's cheering for the undefeated team to win during playoffs, unless it's their favorite team that they've been cheering for multiple seasons. Most people are cheering for the underdogs, and that's the reason playoffs are a thing, right? Seasons are for consistency, and we showed that we were consistently able to play at a high level, and that we were one of the best teams at the very least. So I think it's a huge success, and I think the improvement from week one, even into playoffs, without Splash was huge.
Move Shadow Void in. He's in lobby 1A.
Oh,
I'm gonna
He's on the train though.
I'm gonna echo
On
what
the train.
the coaches just said, and I'm gonna say that championships are hot and all. Everyone wants to talk about them, but at the end of the day, winning the regular season and not losing in the regular season is incredibly difficult. And so to call it a failure, even if we didn't win the championship, is kind of a joke. So I view it as a success for sure. And I contributed in different spots and took away in different spots, but that was everybody. So it was an absolute team effort across the board.
Yep.
all right. Well, to end it out in a few lighter questions, so what did you guys do in particular for team bonding exercises?
Joke boat.
No.
Joke boat funny.
It also has become the thing that has created two groups: the joke boat doing group and the group that just hides from the server and when joke boat is going.
It is the worst game I've ever seen.
Yeah, right.
I also
Joke boat is so funny though. It's so funny and hilarious.
it's funny to laugh at, not laugh with.
Wait, Florida, what are you trying to say?
No, I was just saying I don't participate in it, but there is a thing called Raid Night that has.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Okay, that's a
well,
different
that's
thing,
just
though.
like a ritual at this point.
There's one other thing. We
Yeah,
meet
except
on
I'm
Vino
barred from
every
Raid
week.
Night.
Yeah, I mean it's a 6-man activity, and we already
I'm
have
barred
6.
from
You also
Raid Knight.
don't have Destiny.
Wait, what did
Yes,
Zooey
I
say?
do, you bot.
You also
Guys,
have power level
guys,
70.
Zooey, say your thing again because I missed it. What did you say, Zooey?
Oh,
We mean the Vino every week, pretty much.
That is
And
true.
that's
The-
the
That is
Vino
very
is the
true.
main.
That's the main team bonding.
That's
Team
the main team bonding for sure.
oh, there goes Shadow Boyd.
Oh, Boyd said he was fixing his audio. Yeah.
He's on the train. So
Is he
I
on the
mean,
train?
He's on the
Boyd,
train.
can you hear us? Are you alive?
Yes, I can.
He's on the
He's definitely on the train.
Train Void. I'm not even.
This-
I'm in the break room. My work.
Oh,
He's on.
right.
Ah.
Wait, you're at
He's
the
on the
airport?
train.
He's
You're at the
before.
airport.
He's at his work.
All
That's
right.
funny.
That works.
Second
You
to
gotta-
last question I got for you guys. What's your favorite memory to come out of this season?
Finding
It's
out
different
Splash
for
was
everybody,
perfect.
right? I feel like it would be different for everybody.
Yeah. My
You just go there.
favorite. Yeah. I mean, okay, don't you go, Ian?
Huh?
Yeah.
Say your
go.
favorite
We're going
Come on,
down.
favorite moment from your time at Wisdom, not with Rio. Time with
Okay.
Wisdom, not with Rio.
Not with wisdom or with wisdom?
With
With
wisdom.
Wisdom,
With
not Rio.
Okay. Knowing that you'll never lost with me on the roster.
There you go.
This
All right,
There.
Alex, what's your
Yes.
favorite?
I kind of want to say when Ian was traded.
Oh,
God.
no main support. That's unnecessary.
I know. My favorite moment was definitely when we completed the 10-0 season.
Yeah, it was pretty hype after we beat Flat Chat.
Yeah.
No, but like, as like an actual answer for me, it was probably like the map 5 from week 1, like the last round with
Oh, for
just, like
OTW.
yeah, versus
Okay.
OTW.
And that's the iconic double kill by Zooey.
Yeah, when Zooey took the roids and just started going in and the window.
When he killed the pharmacy by himself after flanking.
Yeah.
See,
Uh,
flanking is hard.
Zooey, shut up!
Florida, go ahead.
My favorite moment was probably going undefeated. I might have stolen Reds here, but going undefeated on Kings Row during the first half of the season was really. Those are like some of my favorite moments. Just getting to pull out my Zarya and just having fun. So.
Red Knight.
Well, that is a highlight. I mean, it's really for me like the answer everyone should expect. The 5-man shatter
Yes.
on map 5 against OTW and for the second matchup in the regular season. That match is still like nuts to me. I got absolutely carried through the first 2 maps of it, and then I really felt like the last map I actually did stuff, and
Sleep
that
shatter,
shatter.
dude.
That,
All the sleep shatters.
Keyword felt like.
hey now, all right, listen, I had a like galaxy brain chatter on that map, but you know it's fine. It was easily the highlight for me.
Raga, what's your highlight of the season?
I have 2 highlights of the season. One of them was just the game for week 5, first game against Geo, insane. Second was week 3 against Rio. Red Knight sees a Reinhardt going at him. He gets scared, presses shift, and goes all the way to
Oh,
their
no!
spawn door.
Oh, God.
God.
You wait to change my answer?
Oh,
Wait. What was this one?
I
This
remember
was
this.
the-
I remember
was when
this.
I, like,
He saw
shifted into their
Ryan.
spawn.
And he
The
kind
mi- the missed counter charge.
He didn't even charge at him though.
This on Kings Row when you lost
Yeah.
your point because you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
we almost full held them except for he.
Everyone's
shift.
spamming. Dude, I go back and watch that, and everyone's spamming question marks in Twitch chat, and I want to cry. Like it's so bad.
Why made you press the shift button?
I know.
We told you to unbind ship. We did. Tell you.
And then I would have gotten pinned and not counter pinned later. It's fine.
pin you.
That time.
All right.
Jelly
Jello?
Boy, what's your highlight?
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be when we full held Hyperflex on Volskaya, because I just felt like everything from the coaching came together, and it was just a really good play by the team overall. So I was super proud watching them play, and with the new off tank with Pineapple as off tank as well. So I felt like it was the highlight of our play for the entire season. But
Divino, what do you got?
F.
That's what he's got.
Sick highlight.
Probably, honestly, I'm trying to think how to phrase this, but you know what? Come back to me. Pineapple.
He's too nervous. He's too nervous.
You
He's too nervous.
Getting off Rio, I gotta say.
She doesn't
For
have
sure.
a
Getting off Rio, yo.
No. Actually, beating Hyperflex, that was pretty cool.
Getting on.
Because it's like kind of like my first full game, I guess technically, and we won pretty easily, so it was nice.
All right. True, I know you just joined, but the question is, what's your favorite memory or highlight of the season?
My favorite stuff is I don't know if it's been said because obviously I joined late, but anytime Red Knight shatters, he will always yell "Big Slam" and never call a target. It is beautiful.
The slams are
Emong,
always big.
It's literally like the Emong meme when Emong just yells and looks at the camera, "Big Slam!" Like literally.
It may or may not have where I picked up the habit.
Red
does do
Knight
it
doesn't even have to shatter one to yell "Slate Big Slam."
I need you to
Sometimes you
press the
shatter the
WG.
shield.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Ezto's on your team?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
That's Quab. Yeah.
That's Quab.
Okay.
That's Quab.
Fuck you, should have. Club's here.
He's alright.
In time for the
Sui,
last
what's your
question.
highlight?
Oh, me? Okay, I have two as well. First is when the coach actually let me play Widow and click head and show dominance. Pretty much. I said it in the first week. If I'm the best Widow, I think I try to prove it. And the second one was, I forgot which week was it, but the caster was saying, I think it was ATC or Alianos.
It was
Like-
Alianos.
Do the flying high noon, do it for the chat. And then he didn't do it, and then 2 seconds later I did. I just went behind him, and then flying high noon, it works. It was dumb, but
I think that was OTW. They were talking about KTO and him being smart, and then you.
Yeah, that was the
How he's-
OTW match.
No, they were saying, hey, don't, thank goodness KTO isn't stupid and try a flank high noon, and then 1 second later.
Literally, that's what's happening in commentary. It was
Sui comes around the corner and kills, like, I don't know how many.
Alright.
And it's
high noon.
Yeah.
Void.
Shadow Void, you got a highlight of the season?
Yeah, hold on, give me a sec. I'm fucking climbing down the staircase. I'm fat as fuck.
Wait, are you at the train?
So,
No.
no, not yet. I'm
It's still at
walking
work.
to the train right now.
Still at work.
But, I would say it's not even a fucking moment where I fucking played, but, the 2 weeks where we reverse swept, I'm just saying, we were down, and then I joined the voice channel. I didn't play, but hey, we reverse swept. So, you know,
I'm
that's
with it.
totally 100%
Motivational train speech.
Yeah, as Nev and I said,
Exactly.
Shadow Void was huge for our team.
Like, really, though, dude.
Whether he was
still-
playing or not.
Y'all are still sleeping on Stevs.
Nick. What about Nick? Come on now.
We've already roasted him, too.
All right.
I think it's
Titanic. You got a highlight?
You guys remember Ian?
Sure,
My highlight would probably have to be my 6K barrage that I had on Geo.
Oh, that was
yeah,
good.
that was sick.
That I
And
got
the one,
guys play
you
the
still
game.
didn't get play.
It's my play.
Yeah, I said Ryan got played.
I put a supercharger down. It was me.
All right, Navino, you
Why
think
not?
of
Let
your-
Quab go. Let Quab go.
All right. What's your highlight of this season?
Highlight of the season? Oh god, I probably should have come prepared. I think a big highlight was getting Zui to play anything other than Widow. But in general, I think like a big highlight was kind of just working through playoffs and seeing a lot of the work that I was able to put in and help these players with questions they had and things like that. Seeing that pay off in game was a really, really cool experience, and it was awesome to see.
Quab's Diva School.
Quab's Diva School was classic, man.
It's not close.
All right, Navino, you got
Vito.
Okay, I got actually 2 as well. So one was probably in the same OTW match that Zui is talking about. Was Splash's iconic Baby Diva on cart survival, where Aqua just pocketed the shit out of him in a 3v where it's 3 people trying to kill 1 Baby Diva, and they don't kill him. He remechs on cart and lives, and we like, and it was just like, wait a second, hold on, what? That had to be the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Because it was like, I think it was like Anti-Crystal and like their 2 DPS trying to kill, like repeat KTO or something.
Yeah, it was a Reaper. It was like a Reaper in a like fully mech diva trying to kill this poor baby diva. But
Oh, that
awkward-
reminds me. Another favorite memory is awkward 1v1ing.
The awkward one.
Yeah,
dude.
I was gonna bring that up.
Hold on.
It got on daily Overwatch.
Bro, wait, did it?
Yeah,
it did.
It did.
Oh no.
I think Anti is probably the best diva in the league, to be honest. But like, that was not a good day for him, bro. And then my other meme favorite memory is when Zooey tells me when like Widow and Career Band that he can't play Soldier, and then on a scrim we put him in Soldier and he kills 5, and I'm like, wow, the hit scan god can play Soldier. Shocking.
He just can't play. He just can't play Ash.
No, he can. That's what upset me. I didn't want to. He just wants to play Tracer and be like, blink, blink, blink.
Rewind.
All right.
But my actual favorite memory is just us being together. Honestly, like in terms of like at the end, like the semifinals match and everything. Like throughout the entire time, like we all had each other's back. And I think the Hyperflex match, where it's our first full match without Splash, really showcased that. So I think that match overall.
All right. Well, I have one last question to close it out. This will take like 30 seconds for you guys to answer, and I'm asking this to all of the novice teams because why not? Do you stand No You?
No.
The most over. No,
I don't think I can say that. No.
Who?
I'm closing it out on that. See ya.
I stand yes me.
No, you stand. Yeah, you stand. Yep, cock.
Yep, cock. Yes.
R.I.P. Yep,
With
cock.
the audio dying
let's,
out. See ya.